When the poet makes request, wind is not going to listen anything. Means here by this poem, the poet wants to convey a message. The message is when you are weak, means we all are weak. If you remain weak and you are making request to any powerful person, they are not going to listen you. So in the same way, means what the poet says, he makes the request to the wind that please don't go like that. You are blowing so fast. You are destructive. You are making a lot of disturbances. So whatever these things means, wind is here symbolically present. Wind is here symbolically present. The adversities in our life. The adversities in our life means hardship. Whatever the hardships, whatever the adversities we are facing in our life, so wind is symbolically a representation of those things. So what that when we are human, but we are human and it is necessary to go through these adversities. You cannot escape these things. Means these situations cannot be escaped. Cannot be escaped at all. You have to face these problems. But what happens when you remain weak? You are broken down. You just knelt down yourself. You give up. You surrender. So we should not do this. We have to stop this type of practice. And how can you stop? The poet says in this poem that the wind is not going to listen what you are saying. So only one thing, you become the friend of the wind. Means the poet wants to friend of the wind. And how it is possible? Means whatever these situations, whatever the hardship, whatever the powerful persons, how you become friends. Only one way is suggested in this poem, that is make yourself powerful, make yourself strong, make yourself ready to face these situations. Once when you become powerful, these hardships, these situations, these adversities cannot do anything to you. Means they will not affect you anymore because you have the strong ability to tackle these problems. You have the strong possibilities to emerge like a hero. There is a line in this poem that you are poking the fun of weaklings. Important line is this. Means here poking the fun means making fun. And whom? Weaklings, weak people. Means the weak people are made fun by you because they cannot do anything except to bear whatever the situations. So you are making the fun of weaklings. What you are doing, you are just scattering the paper. One line is there. Scattering the papers. Why this is the example is given in this poem? Because paper is also symbolically represent the weaker section of society. Means weaker people, because it is a thin layer, means paper that is thin, and thin means the persons who are weak, and there is so many words are used like crumbling, doors, crumbling, hearts, crumbling bodies, these are the metaphorical term. Means crumbling doors means whatever the things, means the materialistic thing or the physical environment, if it remain weak, because you are making your house, suppose that, and the house remains weak, it is not is so strong, so what would happen? One day it is collapsed. Okay, in the same way, if your doors are not joined properly, not joined firmly, what would happen? They will be torn down, broken down. So in the same way, crumbling hearts means humans strongness. Hearts means human. If you are weak by heart, you cannot bear, you cannot endure the things. Suppose that we in our life facing so many difficulties, so many bad situations. Sometimes we just what we do, we just lost someone dear to me. Okay, so in the same situation, if your heart is not steady, your heart is not so strong, so what happens? You shatter yourself, and your condition becomes worse and worse. So in this way, you have to make your heart strong. You have to face the situations boldly. You have to become powerful. Students, suppose that if you are living in a society, you can see in your village or your town area, whatever your nearby in your neighborhood, what happens? There are some persons who are more powerful, who are more powerful or elite class, and one section is there, that is the weak section. So what happens? The weaker section do not have the courage to stand by with those, means who are powerful. They always fear from those persons. Even what they say, you just follow. Why? Because you think yourself as a weak, you cannot do. Even sometimes you see there is a lot of difference, they create a lot of problems in your life, but you cannot do anything. Suppose that if you are in a class and one student who is strong and you are weak, what happens? He treats you, he beats you, you cannot do anything. You just bear these tortures. So what is necessary? Once when you transform yourself into that situation, means make yourself powerful, make yourself strong, then he will stop doing all these things, and even he will try to be your friend. So in the same way, these things are told in this poem. Means the poet is saying, if you are making request to these persons, they are not going to listen. Only one way is there. You make these things your friend. And how to become friend? By making yourself strong. Means like what? Powerful bodies, powerful hearts. Means there are, means physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, means all round development you need to do. Means you have to focus on your development. So in this way, the wind will become your friend, and then you will be also able to face these situations boldly. Because one line is there, small fires blown out when the wind comes, when the wind blows. And what happens if strong fire is there? If strong fire is there, what happens? It takes a large form. It takes or it transforms it transforms into a large form. When the wind blows, is what happens. Suppose that there is a candle, and the light of candle, the fire of candle is small, and wind just came and the candle will be blown out. And suppose that if there is a strong form of a fire, and what happens if the wind comes, and when the wind comes, it takes a bigger form. It is not blown out, it takes a bigger form. Means here the poet wants to convey, if you are strong and this type of adverse situation, they are coming to make you down, but what happens? Just opposite. You emerge like a hero, you emerge like a star. People identify you, people remember you, your name is written in history, you create history. In this way, if you are bold enough, if you are strong enough, these things cannot do anything. Means they will be a boon for you. Means your character will come out. You will emerge like a hero. You will emerge like a star. So in this way, if you are powerful, these things will be your friends. Means you have the courage to tackle these problems. So in this poem, in this way you can explain while teaching during interview, if they are saying that teach the poem. Means without textbooks you can explain beautifully a poem. Means first you discuss the title, then you tell something about the poet, when this poem was written, what was the impact of the society in this poem. Means what are the ideas and notions in the poet's mind so that he wrote the poem, and what are the highlights in the poem, theme of the poem, message of the poem. Theme is, as I told you, that this is the poem related to adversities, adverse situations. In adverse situations, we all are human, we have to face these situations. So in that case, we would not let ourselves down. Okay, suppose that what happens nowadays, I am telling you that when the result comes of any exam, and the students cannot bear their failure, so they do suicide. They end their life in this way because they were not ready for that situation. Even the guardians and other people, educators, they do not tell the students that if this happens, you have to be ready for that. In this way, you cannot end your life. Means they are so weak. They are so weak, they cannot tolerate these things. So this is not acceptable at all. We all are human, and this is the life. Prepare yourself to face these type of challenges. Prepare yourself, because life is precious. एंड जीना इसी का नाम है. अगर आप सिचुएशंस को नहीं फेस कर पा रहे हो तो कैसे जियोगे आप? Means wind is here like these adversities. And suppose that if you make requests, please don't do this, don't do that. So how? What is the benefit of that? This is not fruitful. You make yourself powerful. Means you make yourself accordingly that you don't let you down. So in this way, in this poem, beautifully this poem is written because the era was of struggle. The independence, they were struggling for attaining freedom from the Britishers. So through this poem, the poet tried to awaken the weaker section of society. And once when you become powerful, and powerful means physically and emotionally, mentally. Mentally means educate yourself. gain more and more knowledge, and by gaining more and more knowledge, what you can do, you will be fully aware of your rights, you will be fully aware what is right and what is wrong. So if anyone in the society from upper section, and they try to suppress your voice, you can raise your voice against those things, whatever the wrongdoings they are imposing on you. So in that way, you can await the other persons. If once you become knowledgeable, intellectual, by your intellect you can awake the society. You can awake other persons. So in that age, this poem was written. Okay, you got my point. So what happens means the powerful persons or the destructive things, if they are trying to let you down, they are trying to suppress your voice, they are trying to create a hindrance in your way, and if you are able to tackle, they cannot do anything, they cannot affect you, they cannot stop you doing anything. And whether in that situation you will emerge like a hero, that I have given the example of fire. अगर छोटी सी कोई चिंगारी है तो क्या होती है, इसको बुझाया जा सकता है, हवा अगर चलेगी तो बुझ जाएगी, लेकिन वही अगर तेज है तो जितनी हवा चलेगी वो उतना ज़्यादा फ्लोरिश होगी, उतना ज़्यादा फैलेगी, उतना ज़्यादा वो बड़ा आकार लेगी. मीन्स फायर विल टेक अ बिग साइज ऑफ फायर. तो उस सिचुएशन में हमें वैसा ही बनना है ताकि हमें कोई बुझा ना सके, इस तरीके से चीज़ों को करना है. ठीक है, इस पोएम में यही बताया गया कि when you are weak, everybody suppress you, everybody try to let you down, and if you think that by making requests they will stop, no, they will not stop. Even they will try more and more, because जब एक बार हम किसी चीज़ से डर जाते हैं तो लोग और डराते हैं हमें, तो हमें वो नहीं करना है. Okay, so in this way, without a textbook, you can explain these things while giving demo. And even if the panel is giving you textbook, so don't just start with the explanation part. Because whenever we are going inside the class, what is the first responsibility as a teacher? You just explain the title. Means whatever the poem you are going to teach, you just tell the students about that. Then you tell the guest, then you tell the theme, message, a brief discussion about poet. Don't tell when he was born, when he died. No, you just connect. Means what is the theme? Means what is the style of writing of that poet? In his poem, which type of poetry you find? Which type of theme you find? In this way you can tell. Okay? Then you just tell whatever the things. Without a textbook you can explain in this way. And even though they will not stop you, that they are not saying that just okay now it's done, you just come and sit. You continue. And when your matter just you are not having more and more, so then at the last you can start explaining the text. But don't explain, suppose that you are going on board and you just started writing, start reading the poem, reading the lines, and you just start explanation. That will leave bad impression. Okay, so first you connect the persons to the poem. By connecting these things with the daily examples of life, in this way you can proceed. Okay, so this is the basic introduction of the poem. Explanation everybody can do, so I will not do the explanation part. Okay, I will not do the explanation part. If it is required, you can tell me in the comment. that I need to explain the poem. Actually, this is enough. Okay. So in next video, I will meet you with a chapter that is from prose section. Means I will tell you how to teach prose during demo. Okay, and I have covered grammar like direct, indirect, clauses, active voice. All these videos are recorded on my YouTube channel. You can watch them. Even the poems, the road not taken, wind, fire and ice, tale of the custard dragon, and no men are foreign. So many poems are there. You can watch them. Okay, let's meet in next video.